When it rains in Rwanda, I think of the rain that washed away the blood of the 1 million people massacred here 18 years ago, while the rest of the world watched from afar. As the rain falls, it represents every father who killed his own family, every child who hid under corpses, every woman raped until she begged for death, every innocent life stolen by genocide. I imagine it's the same water that rained down after every genocide, like those in Darfur, Bosnia, Turkey, Armenia, Cambodia, America, and the Congo. I imagine it's the same water that rained down during the Holocaust, when Anne Frank fled her home with nothing but a bag and her diary. And when that particular rain falls, the only thought in my head is why? Why again? Why again and again and again? But I've never found an answer.
That's exactly how it started. People started calling us cockroaches, dehumanizing us.
They were inspiring people to hate others. They used the songs, cartoons, movies.
You had radio broadcasts telling them to kill. And so the government is telling you to kill. We need to defend our country to kill.
And I think perpetrators really, in their minds, come to believe that this victim group is such a threat that it's not only right to kill them, but it's wrong if we don't kill them.
It started with a name, and then it became a machete.
Consider the mathematics of this horror. In 100 days, 1 million people dead.
"1 million people weren't killed overnight. They killed one after another, day after day, for 100 days.
We had on the radio, they said all Tutsis are required to remain in their houses while the institutions in charge are doing the investigation to see who killed the president.
But 45 minutes later, gunfire started, we got a phone call, and someone told us the president's plane had been shot down.
And then the Tutsi were accused to be responsible for his death. So this became a reason to kill any Tutsi, any Tutsi. Children, women, everyone.
What's right in front of them right now is my family. What can I do to protect my family?
And I stayed with my dad, and then my dad said, let's just escape, run. Like after 5 or 3 minutes, and then we had like a gunshot. This was my dad killed.
I remember lying among the corpses and pretending to be dead myself.
After a few years, people, countries outside of Rwanda started to deny.
It's different. When you are there, you see exactly what happened.
Put your feet on the ground where it happened in front of those people that died. Then you know the truth. Then you feel what happened.
Travel thousands of miles to the land of 1,000 hills, and you find yourself in what is meant to be a church. Has dead bodies.
That was the first time that I had ever seen a skull or somebody's bones. Because, you know, we see it on TV, but it's different when you see it in person.
And I couldn't even walk in the room.
I looked at this one, crippled up body that had a smaller body in the arms. And I couldn't help to think that it was a mother holding her child while terrible things were going on.
It hits you more when you actually put a face to the people that died, and there were couples and grandparents and little babies.
All killed for being called a Tutsi. And the only real difference between Hutu and Tutsi is the number of cows their ancestors owned when Rwanda was colonized.
They came to kill everybody in the church. They took care of everybody outside, and how everybody inside had to watch.
The one last thing that someone has in that situation is their faith, and that was stolen from them.
It's the closest thing that people can come to the death that happened.
And then to have the kids like waving at us when you walked out of that building.
And you see those kids just laughing and hanging out and playing, and you think, Jesus Christ, these kids should have been doing that at that age. Not being pummeled to death or buried alive.
You imagine your friends, your family members being tortured that way, and it's crazy.
You know, you leave there and what you're pushed to is perpetrators are demonic. They're beasts, they're lunatics. That's like a protective thing, I think, for us, because it keeps it out there, and we don't have to bring it close to us to say, what does it say about humans and what we're capable of?
It's not just Rwanda, it's the whole world. What happened in this small country can happen anywhere else.
The things that motivate a lot of perpetrator behavior are the same things that motivate the behaviors we engage in on a daily basis. Conformity, peer pressure, obedience to authority, camaraderie, wanting to be part of a group, wanting to be a strong part of a group, the lead part of a group.
Fear, I think, which is a very powerful motivator.
All these things work their same dynamic when you try to understand who it is that commits genocide.
And what are people supposed to do when the thing that they look up to the most to guide them and tell them what to do in times of fear, in times of war, is giving them all the wrong answers?
I realized that what has happened here could happen in America, could happen anywhere.
In any group that's committed to any activity, you want to be recognized for being the best in the group. You want to be creative, you want to be enthusiastic, you want to be skilled at what you do. What they do is different. The dynamics that drive it, I would argue, are really similar.
It doesn't come from an individual, it doesn't come from a certain group, it comes from years and years and years of manipulation.
We have both capacities within us, and it's up to us which of those capacities to choose. And even though I spend most of my time with perpetrators, the truth is, in genocide, most people don't choose to kill. Unfortunately, most people choose to do nothing.
So it's one thing to talk about that and do it from the brain, but really important for actors to do it in their bodies and in their voices.
Help those who can't put into words and vocabulary themselves what they're feeling after going through such terrible, terrible atrocities.
They realize that, okay, this is not just something you see in a book, it's not just something you hear on the radio, not just something you watch on TV. It actually happened to people. And we kind of represent them. We steal a moment and we represent them on stage.
This was genocide.
They're watching the eyes of another human being tell them what they're going through.
So it's something that we use to heal people.
You know, I think there's this feeling inside of all of us, especially when we pass through tragedy, for somebody to understand.
If you can feel what the woman who was mass raped feels, and as an artist you're able to carry that weight on stage, then chances are that you're going to connect with this woman.
You know what he did? That man made me pregnant.
It gives them an outlet, a way to express how they're feeling by just either performing it themselves or watching it, and allowing for a healing process to begin that way.
We believe art is the only space where you do what you want and you're not blamed for it.
Theater gives them stories to believe in, stories to look forward to on the future and ways to process what they've heard and what they've seen with their own eyes.
Storytelling is about communication, which is about conflict resolution, which is the most on-the-ground event of all of those.
Because the world can be evil, but it can also be beautiful.
But I think theater gives us a language, an opportunity, and maybe even a little bit of a kind of hitting it on the side so that we're not bowled over by it, but we can really examine and honestly listen.
It's all in the actions and the voice, and it's a universal language all of a sudden.
If we break that wall, it means you've made a change. And that's the reason why Mashirika and Anne Frank are together, is to change the world.
Why I love this theater much, it's like life, it's live, it's just like cooking food and you eat that food there and then and you share it together. That's why I love it most.
You know, it's interesting, I've never found anybody leaving Rwanda discouraged.
You know, this beautiful river with the sun setting behind it would have been a graveyard.
The idea that this too will pass, but not minimizing what it is that's passing.
It was a river where we knew bodies were being dumped into.
And yet it continues to flow, it continues to go. You look at a boat like this and you just think about how many years have people been doing things on the river and what all has passed through this river.
And such pain and such despair happened on these grounds.
So it's part of my history. And the shadow walks with me.
It took a long, it was really difficult to tell us to forgive.
The Hutus who killed the Tutsis have stood up and asked for forgiveness.
Rwandans, live side by side with the people that maybe killed their family members.
Survivors have stood to forgive those people.
People are able to come up from that and be a community and prosper together as a whole. And
Forgiveness makes us strong, not weak. The ability to forgive gives you the power to know that you can change something.
And people who visit this country do not leave this country depressed. They leave this country amazed and inspired.
And this is the Rwanda that we have been waiting for. And I think the next generation will never experience what we had.
Like just a drop in the bucket, but all of us get together with our drops and change comes.
This allows us the opportunity to learn and the opportunity to dream for the future and
to show me what the world is.
I see how smiles can go a long way. I've learned that in Rwanda.
Because giving is not enough. How much money can you give to somebody who's lost their entire family?
The mental choice of choosing to do something, it changes me. And it changes me in a direction that I want to go.
I just want to be a joy, if I can, like a small light in someone's life, even if I don't know them.
And more open to sharing myself with others.
We share so much, but a lot of people don't know that.
We all know each other through theater, because I think it's a very good way of connecting people.
That's what counts. Are we connected? Are we together?
And it was a reminder to me of what I want to do in my community with my art.
We all need to fight. We all need to believe in me. We all need to stand for the echoes of peace, echoes of peace. We all need to fight. We all need to believe in it. We all need to stand for the echoes of peace, echoes of peace. We all need to fight. We all
mama should be anything. I just wanna lay in my head. Don't feel like picking, having fun. Stay at that tone. Say yes, stay at